All right, everybody, this is an overview for our fourth lab, which is on z-scores. This is specifically in SPSS, and the goal of this lab is to calculate a z-score column, an entire variable row of data in which we'll have z-scores for a set of individual scores. So this lab is pretty quick, and I'll go ahead and show you why. So we'll start by opening a data set in SPSS. And I'm actually going to do this one through the VM, show you guys the VM here. So we go in through HTML access here and accept. So of course, not all of you are using the VM here, but just to kind of illustrate how we do this, we log into one of these desktops. Promise that you're not going to do anything naughty on their system, and we'll go ahead and let this load up. So let's take a look at what we want to do first. When we move into SPSS, the first thing we want to do is set up our variables in variable view. So we're going to click into variable view here. When we're looking at a set of reported dreams, number of dreams reported by 10 people. So we're going to go ahead and do that first. We're going to create a dreams variable. And we're going to change it to a scale, all right, as shown here. Then we're going to go back and put the data into the column. And then we're going to do something a little bit different than we've done before. We're going to get descriptive statistics, that part we've done before, but then we're going to take our mean and compute a variable after that. So let's go ahead and get going here then. Let's open up SPSS. All right, so the VM can be a little slow, can lag a little bit, right? But remember how nice it is that we have VMware to use. It means that you can access this software for free. So try to be patient with it, even if it takes a little bit of time. All right, so we'll let this open up. So what we're going to do is we're going to go into descriptive statistics. We're going to ask for a couple of different measures here, and then we're going to get an output. So let's go ahead and see if we can get this output. Let me get the data up for us here. All right, here we are, SPSS. We want to grab a new, I think I might need to make my window a little bit bigger here. We want a new data set. So let's open a new data set. All right, and here we are. So remember that anything that we do in the VMware is not going to save on the computer, okay? So we have to treat this almost like a separate computer than whatever computer you're working on. But I am going to move it right over here so I can take a look at the data we need. And I'll go ahead and put in our variable, okay? So our variable is dreams. We need to change this to a scale variable. Remember our different types of measurement. This is not ordinal or ranked data, nor is it categories. It's a scale. So we'll mark it as such. All right, then if we move back over here, we now have a column header for dreams. Then I'm going to go ahead and put this data in. Do you guys dream a lot? Dreams are interesting, aren't they? We talk about dreams in almost all of my classes, and we really don't know why dreams happen. We don't know why dreams really exist in our mental landscape. So if you can figure that out, you're in for some good money. Okay, so those are data. Let's go ahead and grab, what we're looking for here is really just a mean of the data. So we're going to grab descriptive statistics, and then a few of these options here are asking you to calculate some other thing, showing you how to get, say, their variance and the range. So we're going to do an analyze, descriptive statistics, descriptives. Of course, we're calculating for dreams. That's our only one here. So we're going to get standard deviation. This will show you the variance as well. And we'll ask for the range. We'll press continue, and we will press OK. All right, so that spits it out into our output window, all those descriptives that we asked for. So if we take a look here for dreams, we have an n of 10, a range of 8, a minimum of 1, a maximum of 9, and a mean of 6. Then we have standard deviation and variance here. Okay, so a mean of 6, standard deviation of 2.70801. Okay, let's see what we want to do with that. But if we start to think already, the goal here is to calculate z-scores, and we know how to calculate z-scores now. To calculate z-scores, we need to take our mean, a standard score or a raw score minus the mean, and then divide by the standard deviation. So what we're going to do is tell SPSS that that's what we want to compute. We're actually going to compute a new variable. So let's take a look at how we do that. All right, let's go back over into SPSS. We're going to do a transform compute variable. All right, we get a screen that looks like this. All right, so I've circled a few different things here. So for target variable, we're going to name a new variable that we're going to calculate. So we're going to call it z-dreams because we're going to get z-scores for each of these dreams scores. And then in numeric expression, what you can basically do is put a formula in here. So that's what we're going to do, but we're going to make a formula that is specific to the descriptive statistics that we have found. So we're going to call this target variable z-dreams. And then for our numeric expression, we're going to type in something that looks like this. Okay, so we're going to type in dreams minus the mean. All right, so that's our x minus x bar portion of the formula, and then we're going to divide by standard deviation. But we're actually going to include our calculated mean and standard deviation values that we can find over in our output. All right, so we're going to calculate, we're going to do dreams, all right, minus, let's actually get a space in here, minus the mean. What did we get for the mean? If I'm not mistaken, the mean was 6. Okay, and then we're going to divide by standard deviation. We got something like 2.70801. All right, so we have an expression here. We have an expression that's going to calculate our z formula. And this is going to populate that z-dreams column. It's going to create a new z-dreams column. And it's going to give each score a z-score. And those z-scores should make sense for the data, meaning that we shouldn't have anything too far off on the z-scale. All right, so let's go ahead and give this a try. I might complain about my spaces here. Okay, so if we click back over here into our data set, you can now see that we have calculated z-scores for each of our entries here. Another way that you could be able to tell that you say did this correct is that for a score of 6, which is our mean, we've calculated a z-score of 0. All right, so that's it for this lab. All that you're doing is submitting your data set. So your data set meaning this here, all right, this data set. So if you go ahead and save this, you should see that. It'll save as a .sav. You're going to name it something like lab4, and then your last name. I'll remind you that in VMware, my kind of tricks for VMware is to say, save your file somewhere very easy to find, perhaps the desktop. All right, so let's save that to the desktop here. It'll pop up, all right? So if I close out of this, yes, I do want to close out. No, I don't need the output, though you could save it for your records here. And then here's my file, okay? So that file did not save onto the desktop of my personal computer here. It saved onto this VM, all right? So if I wanted to now upload this file to our Canvas page, I could access Canvas from within VMware and submit it that way. So that concludes Lab 4, a little bit shorter than our last lab, so hopefully that is appreciated. And as always, let me know if you have any questions.